Chapter 31 Female Doctor. The protagonist's nightmare is about to begin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Jianjia didn't notice someone coming, and was still immersed in it, unable to extricate herself. Lin Hao's eyes were red with anger, and he was even more furious when he saw that the two people treated him as heir. Big sister. He shouted loudly, and only then did Chen Jianjia come back to her senses. Her face was flushed, and she couldn't help but think of her tongue just now. It was too embarrassing. Xu Liang had a smile on his lips, and he couldn't help smacking his lips when he saw Lin Hao staring at him fiercely, as if to say, "It tastes good, Lin Hao." His face was stiff and his breath was cold. In order to hide the embarrassment, Chen Jianjia directly treated him as heir and walked out of the room with Xu Liang. Outside the room, the people of Baikatang were cheering. Seeing that Heping Hospital ended up like this, everyone felt very relieved. Seeing Chen Jianjia coming, the scene became quiet, and the eyes looking at her were full of admiration. The shopkeeper hit it too deeply. It was said that Chen Jianjia was the most beautiful doctor in the world, the most beautiful female doctor. They worked in Baikatang and were proud of it. Chen Jianjia gave a few instructions, and the storm was over, and Baikatang could open for business. This caused a cheer from the crowd. One wave has not settled, another wave has risen. That afternoon, Chen Jianjia just woke up from a good rest and received an invitation. It turned out that several large hospitals in Shanghai had united to hold an exchange meeting between Chinese and Western medicine. They invited a number of Chinese medicine clinics headed by her Baikatang. The reason was of course that Heping Hospital failed in this confrontation. Not only did it fail to suppress Baikatang, but it also got itself involved. After this storm, the popularity of Chinese medicine was pushed to the peak. Many people who were sick admired Chinese medicine treatment, while their Western medicine was scolded like dogs. So, these hospitals decided to unite. It was to prove the Western medicine and to get the factory back for Heping Hospital. Chen Jianjia looked unhappy. If she really cured the patient and knew Tai magic needle, she would not be afraid of these people looking for trouble, but she would not. Her complexion did not improve much until the evening when she had dinner with Xu Liang. Xu Liang had known about the troubles she had encountered, but he still pretended to be puzzled and asked, "You seem to be worried, what's wrong?" Chen Jianjia smiled and told her about the invitation to participate in the exchange meeting of Chinese and Western medicine. "I thought something happened. You can just go and participate when the time comes." Chen Jianjia smiled bitterly. In fact, she was quite confident. Some difficult and complicated diseases she had encountered before were cured under her treatment, but this time, she realized her shortcomings. She still had a lot to learn. "They are obviously coming for me this time. I am a little unsure. If only I had your medical skills." She looked at Xu Liang with some admiration. It was still hard for her to believe that Xu Liang, a son of a big family, had such high achievements in medical skills. "Didn't I tell you that I would teach you? 3 days is enough." Seeing the confidence on Xu Liang's face, Chen Jianjia was a little dazed. After dinner, seeing that she was absent-minded, Xu Liang did not tease her interest. He said "see you tomorrow" and left. Xu Liang went to find his other women. He couldn't ignore other women just because of the heroine. He had to comfort them one by one. The chance of pregnancy is reduced. Then come a few more times, strive for more children and more blessings. Looking at the car's shadow going away, Chen Jianjia's ears echoed with Xu Liang's words before leaving. Some trepidation, but also some expectation. Lin Hao, who was secretly peeping, breathed a sigh of relief. It's good that the senior sister and Xu Liang are separated. He didn't know that tomorrow would be the beginning of his nightmare. If his nightmare hadn't started yet, then Mu Bai was in a nightmare. Last night he stayed in a bridge hole, and the food he ate was picked up from the trash can. He was worse than a dog. In the morning they were so hungry that they were ready to have a free meal, even if they had to wash the dishes. But seeing their appearance, the restaurant didn't entertain them at all. For lunch, Mu Bai went to the school cafeteria and brought back the leftovers. This made Mu Bai want to develop the new battery technology as soon as possible. In addition to his resentment towards Xu Liang, in the afternoon he went to the school's own research institute, and found his best friends to work hard on research. After reading Mu Bai's news today, Xu Liang put down his phone with a smile in his eyes. "That's right, RD is what you should do." The next day when they woke up in the morning, many people found that several news about Chinese and Western medicine appeared on the hot search. Several major hospitals jointly initiated and will hold a Chinese and Western medicine exchange meeting in Shanghai. It is called an exchange meeting, but in fact it is just a competition. It has become a hot search in such a short time. There must be someone behind the scenes. The storm of Baikayatang has just ended, and another round of storm is coming. Baikayatang. Those people still don't give up. Are they going to unite to suppress our Baikayatang? It's still a Chinese and Western medicine exchange meeting. If you don't like the rise of Chinese medicine, just say it directly. It's really hypocritical. Don't panic, we have Manager Chen, they are just asking for trouble. Everyone was very optimistic. The cure of the terminally ill patient, coupled with the boasting on the internet, made them have a blind confidence in Chen Jinjia. At this time, they were happily busy. After yesterday's reversal, Baikayatang became completely famous. Unlike the previous fame caused by being scolded, now it is almost praised to the sky. More people came here because of its reputation. Some came to join in the fun, and some patients came to seek medical treatment. Baikayatang was busy. I came to see the female doctor. Didn't she say she was in Baikayatang? Why didn't I see her? Hey! Look, isn't that Lin Ruitian? My idol. Some people saw Lin Hao, who was busy with the work, and walked over as if they saw an idol. Idol, wait. Lin Hao was assigned by Chen Jinjia to help distribute medicinal materials. He was a little tearful. With his medical skills, he was actually assigned to do these chores. Suddenly, he saw someone shouting and walking towards him, and he was a little confused. Are you calling me? Of course, Brother Do, my idol, can you teach me a few tricks? Lin Hao was confused. What does Brother Do mean? Brother Do is the nickname we fans give you. How did you make those silver needles tremble all the time? Teach me. Damn, after seeing your operation, my girlfriend insisted that I come to learn from you. Lin Hao. Baikayatang also has a back door. Unlike the crowded front door, few people know about the back door, and it is a bit deserted. Chen Jinjia stood at the door, seemingly waiting for someone. The people in Baikayatang believed in her, which made her smile bitterly. I don't even believe myself. Now the only hope is Xu Liang. Thinking of his confident words yesterday, Chen Jinjia couldn't help but look forward to it. As for Lin Hao, he completely ignored her. Lin Hao was shocked to learn that he had become an internet celebrity. Dogu. I was performing Tai magic needle, not acrobatics, not even teddy bear. After sending the fan away, he was so angry that he went to the quieter back door to relax. Seeing Chen Jinjia standing at the door, he asked with some confusion. Senior sister, what are you doing here? Waiting for someone. Chen Jinjia didn't even look at him, and was very frugal with her words. Waiting for whom? Could it be? As soon as the thought came to his mind, a Rolls-Royce slowly drove up and stopped at the door. Chen Jinjia smiled and greeted it. Sure enough, he saw Xu Liang, the guy he hated, appear. Chapter 32 Xu Liang's hands-on teaching. All that's missing is real weapons. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Jinjia brought Xu Liang to her office on the second floor. What are you doing here? Seeing Lin Hao also coming, Chen Jinjia frowned and said coldly. Lin Hao was speechless and looked at Xu Liang warily. Could it be that I came here to protect you because I was afraid that you would be deceived by Xu Liang? Okay, so many people came today, you go downstairs to help. Chen Jinjia was about to close the door. Lin Hao hurriedly said, since you are too busy, why don't you go? I have more important things to do. Chen Jinjia looked a little unhappy. What are you going to do, a man and a woman? Lin Hao asked. At this time, Xu Liang chuckled and suddenly interrupted. Jinjia, are you sure he is your junior brother? He seems to be a bit too controlling. Chen Jinjia also had this idea. When did I need him to ask about my own affairs? Mr. Su, is there a problem with teaching me medical skills? After saying that, he closed the door with a bang. Standing alone outside the office, Lin Hao gritted his teeth. Xu Liang was obviously trying to alienate him from his senior sister. Too despicable. Ding, Lin Hao is angry with you. Villain value plus 666. Xu Liang's eyes flashed. It's time for this protagonist to get out. Chen Jinjia is about to be taken down by him, and he doesn't want a protagonist to hang around his woman. What expression would he have if Chen Jinjia kicked him out? He seemed to have thought of another interesting idea. Chen Jinjia's office, inside is a one-to-one restored mannequin for her to practice acupuncture on weekdays. Xu Liang also started his first teaching career, of course, except for teaching on the bed. Teaching Chen Jinjia medical skills is not just to capture her, but also to cultivate her. He has so many women, and of course he has family around him. Does he have to take care of her personally if she gets sick? Just like when Lu Rulin was pregnant, he didn't have to prepare the medicine to keep her pregnant. Having a woman who knows medicine will save a lot of trouble, and it is also a rewarding thing to train a female doctor. Chen Jinjia knows most of the common medical knowledge. Xu Liang only needs to teach her acupuncture. His medical skills are god level, and he knows how to use these acupuncture methods. He first explained the theoretical knowledge to her and asked her to practice on a dummy. Chen Jinjia picked up the needle, not knowing which acupuncture point to start with. At this time, Xu Liang hugged her from behind. Chen Jinjia trembled and almost cried out, only to feel the strong masculine scent lingering around her nose. Xu Liang also smelled a faint herbal fragrance, which matched her body fragrance very well. Hold steady. Seeing her hand holding the needle trembling, Xu Liang held her hand from behind and began to teach her step by step. Chen Jinjia's face flushed, and she was extremely shy. After the first hour, she made mistakes every time because she was absent-minded. Xu Liang also held her like this and taught her for an hour. Gradually, she began to adapt and was guided by Xu Liang to give acupuncture without any mistakes. In a blink of an eye, a whole morning passed. Xu Liang and Chen Jinjia, a man and a woman, stayed in the room for a whole morning. This made Lin Hao outside anxious. Just when he couldn't help but want to rush in, the doors suddenly opened. Xu Liang and Chen Jinjia walked out together. Both of them looked normal. Xu Liang didn't care at all, and Chen Jinjia was used to it. It was faintly visible that she was happy. After Xu Liang's hands-on teaching for a whole morning, she has mastered the acupuncture skills. She no longer doubted that Xu Liang could help her master the acupuncture in 3 days. Lin Hao looked back and forth between the two. Chen Jinjia did not lose her virginity. Strange, a man and a woman alone in a room. Are they really teaching? Afternoon. That it was still the same office. Xu Liang and Chen Jinjia never came out after entering. Lin Hao has already thought of several versions. Female doctor in the office. I teach the female doctor how to give acupuncture. Female doctor did this to learn. The more he thought about it, the more uneasy Lin Hao felt, and he felt that he was being cheated on. Unable to bear this torture, he had knocked on the doors several times, and each time he was scolded by Chen Jinjia. Lin Hao was even more confused. Chen Jinjia would open the door, which meant that they did nothing, but he didn't believe Xu Liang would really be so honest. It has to be said that the one who knows you best is your enemy, and this is really true. The second day was still the same. Lin Hao was going crazy. What on earth were Xu Liang and the senior sister doing in there? On the third day, Lin Hao thought of a way. It turned out that there was a forest not far away, facing the window door of Chen Jinjia's office. Holding a telescope that he got from nowhere, Lin Hao climbed up the tree and began to observe. In the office, Chen Jinjia was talking to Xu Liang, and then Xu Liang began to teach him step by step. Seeing this, Lin Hao's hand trembled and the telescope almost fell. This posture. If they were not wearing clothes, I would have thought they were doing something. Even so, this is not something that ordinary friends can do. He would believe that the two were lovers. Wait, in other words, they have been like this for the third day. 3 days, what else has Xu Liang not taken advantage of besides real swords and guns? Lin Hao was dumbfounded. When he thought that Xu Liang had almost eaten up the senior sister through a wall, he was so angry that his whole body was pounding. Ding! Lin Hao's plasmolysis, villain value plus 1000. Xu Liang, who was teaching Chen Jinjia the Ghost Valley 13 Needles, paused. Soon he felt a murderous gaze, frowned and looked. After washing his marrow and cutting his meridians, his eyesight was far superior to that of ordinary people. At a glance, he saw Lin Hao hanging on the tree like a monkey, holding a telescope. Is this a performance of acrobatics? In order to protect the heroine, he really did everything he could, but what can he do if he sees her? Xu Liang smiled slightly and moved closer, his chest against her back. Mr. Su, Why don't you move? Chen Jinjia's puzzled voice came. She was a little impatient. After 2 days of hands-on teaching, she has learned the Tai Divine Needle. Now, she is about to learn a new needle method. Guigu 13 Needles is more powerful than Tai Divine Needle, and each needle is shocking. It is said that it can snatch people from the hands of the King of Hell. She never expected that Xu Liang would actually do it. What else can't he do? This man is too charming, attracting her all the time. Okay. Then let's start. Chapter 33. The protagonist is confused. The senior sister actually did such a thing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xu Liang taught seriously, Chen Jinjia studied seriously, but Lin Hao was heartbroken. 1 day passed, and Lin Hao contributed a lot of villain points. Xu Liang discovered that the luck on top of his head had been reduced by 1/3. Hold on, little brother. If it has no use value, it will die. Unlike Lin Hao, who was heartbroken, Chen Jinjia was extremely excited, because she has already learned the 13 needles of Guigu. In 3 days, after Xu Liang's step-by-step teaching, she had mastered how to use needles skillfully. I even learned 2 kinds of acupuncture techniques. She is not worried at all about the exchange meeting held tomorrow. All this is due to Xu Liang. Xu Liang's help to her was much greater than that of her master, and she had nothing to repay. I really don't know how to thank you. Then just pledge yourself. The smile on Xu Liang's face was a little ambiguous. Chen Jinjia's face turned slightly red, but she did not refuse. After 2 days of close contact, she had already identified Xu Liang. These are the foundations Xu Liang laid before. Chen Jinjia is not a casual person. If it were anyone else, even if they could teach her these medical skills, they would not agree to teach her personally. Suddenly, her pretty face gradually turned red. When she was studying before, she was in a state of selflessness, but now she felt something strange. After hesitating for a moment, she mustered up her courage. You have helped me so much, let me help you too. She has great medical skills and is called the Goddess Doctor. She knows that it is bad for the body over time. Hiss, wait. Xu Liang pushed her hand away, came to the window, and closed the curtains. Next comes the paid content. Lin Hao lay on the tree in despair. Xu Liang taught Chen Jinjia personally for a day, and he also hung on a tree for a day. Seeing Xu Liang taking advantage of his elder sister, he was heartbroken. Fortunately, the senior sister stuck to the bottom line and did not let Xu Liang succeed. Suddenly, he saw Chen Jinjia blushing. Before he could see what was happening, Xu Liang came to the window and closed the curtains. An ominous premonition enveloped my heart. A man and a woman lived together in the same room, with the curtains drawn, combined with Chen Jinjia's blush. Are they going to? Lin Hao couldn't sit still anymore. Throwing away the binoculars, he jumped down from the tree and ran towards Baichao Hall, but just in the middle, 2 middle-aged men stopped him. Feeling the aura emanating from them, Lin Hao's face became solemn. They turned out to be 2 peak masters of Anjin. Get out of the way. Lin Hao's eyes were cold. The 2 of them were silent, their bodies tensed, and they looked ready to fight. Lin Hao was extremely anxious when he thought that Xu Liang was about to have sex with his senior sister. He stepped on the ground violently, and his body flew out like an arrow from a string. He planned to use speed to get rid of the entanglement between the 2. It's a pity that the 2 of them were well prepared, blocked his path, and stood in front of him. Lin Hao's face darkened. Knowing that this battle was inevitable, seeing the 2 men attacking him, they punched him directly in the face and kicked him in the side. They cooperated tacitly. Each punch and kick is powerful and heavy. If he is hit, he will be half dead or half disabled. The best way to deal with the situation at hand was to avoid it. But Lin Hao was not afraid and faced the man forward. The 3 of them started fighting in this somewhat remote street. When Lin Hao defeated the 2 and escaped, it was already an hour and a half later. It wasn't easy to deal with the 2 of them. He was exhausted and panting from exhaustion. With no time to rest, he quickly ran towards Baichao Hall. When he arrived at Baikiatang and was about to go to the office, Xu Liang and Chen Jinjia happened to go downstairs. His eyes immediately fell on Chen Jinjia. His steps were steady, so nothing happened. He let out a long breath. It seemed that he was overthinking it. The senior sister did not let Xu Liang succeed. Wait. Lin Hao suddenly discovered Hua Dian. Chen Jinjia's face turned red with embarrassment, and upon closer inspection, her lips were a little swollen, boom, that it was like 5 thunders struck him, and he was stunned. How could senior sister do such a thing? Ding. Lin Hao's mentality collapsed, villain value plus 1000. TSK. Xu Liang clicked his tongue, as expected of the protagonist. 2 masters at the same level couldn't stop him. With a move in his heart, he reached out and took Qin Jinjia into his arms. The sudden turn of events startled her. She felt relieved when she felt the familiar embrace. The warm embrace made her legs feel a little weak. After all, she had been kneeling for a long time. By now, Xu Liang can be said to have won the heroine, just waiting to join the family and burst into gold coins. The reason why I haven't drawn my sword yet is just because the occasion is not suitable. Xu Liang knows her character. Qin Jinjia's goal is to lead the rise of traditional Chinese medicine. After his operation 3 days ago, it was almost achieved. Now given her medical skills, this goal has basically been achieved. Just wait until tomorrow to show off your skills at the exchange meeting. The rise of traditional Chinese medicine is inevitable. Her wish since childhood is about to be fulfilled, which makes her feel a little relieved. And then there is the scene just now. In addition to the goal of reviving traditional Chinese medicine, Qin Jinjia also yearns for a little romance. When tomorrow is over, Bai Keitang will be famous all over the world, and her goal will be completely realized. Prepare a little surprise, and then it will come naturally. For his woman, Xu Liang is still quite patient. The premise is to be obedient. Directly ignoring Lin Hao, Qin Jinjia sent Xu Liang outside. Will you come to the scene tomorrow? Seeing Xu Liang get in the car, she asked with some expectation. Xu Liang pretended to be hesitant, and just when Qin Jinjia was a little nervous, he smiled slightly. Since you performed well today, I will reluctantly come to see you. Swish, Qin Jinjia's face flushed with a swish. Thinking about what happened just now, she still blushed and her heart beat fast. She didn't know why she did that. She was planning to use her hands, but before she knew it, she knelt in front of Xu Liang. Chapter 34. The 3-day deadline has come. The protagonist has no chance to show off. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 3-day deadline has come. The Chinese and Western Medicine Exchange Conference was held as scheduled. As the 3 days went by, this exchange conference caused a stir on the internet and attracted the attention of the whole nation. This is a showdown between Chinese and Western medicine. No matter who wins, the other side will suffer a serious blow. The venue is the Magic City Central Square. People were waiting outside early, and there was endless discussion. I still believe in Western medicine. Chinese medicine's pulse diagnosis is really unreliable. Anyway, I always support Chinese medicine. It is our Kyushu's heritage for thousands of years. Isn't it better than Western medicine's hundreds of years of history? I don't care about that. I came for the female doctor. I thought that the powerful Chinese medicine practitioners were all old men in their 70s and 80s. It wasn't until I saw the female doctor that I realized I was wrong. I was wrong. The female doctor is the idol who is truly worthy of admiration. She promotes Kyushu culture. Isn't she better than those who shake their butts? That there are more and more people outside the square. If the police hadn't set up a cordon, they would have rushed in. At 9 o'clock, doctors began to enter the venue. Look. That's the director of the Cross Hospital. I haven't seen him in the hospital before. I didn't expect him to come in person. It seems that they attach great importance to this exchange meeting. That's the vice president of the Holy Mother Hospital. If the director hadn't gone abroad to study, he might have come. And Mary Hospital, Mashing Hospital. They are all large foreign hospitals. If they join together, how can Chinese medicine win? Hiss. Did you see it? The heads of these hospitals are like students, following those 2 foreign old men obediently. Fuck. I just checked. One of the 2 old men is Smith and the other is Andre. They are both masters in the medical field and have won countless medical awards. The first to enter was the initiator of this Chinese and Western medicine exchange meeting. It felt a little strange to see the heads of these hospitals following the 2 old men. After checking, they found that they were big men in the medical field. Everyone was stunned. Then it was the turn of the Chinese medicine side to appear. everyone found that they didn't know any of the people who appeared. Compared to the sensation when the Western medicine doctor appeared, the scene was much smaller. Among them were middle-aged and old people, and the youngest was in his 40s. They were representatives of several Chinese medicine clinics in Shanghai. Although they knew that they were just here to make up the numbers, they were willing to contribute to Chinese medicine. Until Chen Jianjia appeared. In order to facilitate treatment, she was dressed more simply today, a shirt and jeans. Even so, it caused a great sensation. Is this the female doctor? Too beautiful, right? Finally I see the real person. Did you notice? The real person is even more beautiful than the one in the video. Love it. If Chinese medicine wins this exchange meeting, the rise of Western medicine will not be suppressed at all. I look forward to the female doctor showing her skills. Ignoring the eyes and discussions of the people around her, Chen Jianjia glanced around, not seeing the familiar figure. She was a little disappointed. Today is the moment when her dream comes true, and she hopes Xu Liang can see it. After calming down, she retracted her gaze and led the people from Baikatang into the venue. After both parties entered, it was the audience's turn. They would witness this grand event. These were not ordinary people. There were corporate executives, company bosses, government officials. All of them were upper-class people. After they entered, the crowd started talking again. They couldn't go in, so they all took out their phones to watch the live broadcast. A figure appeared in the crowd. Lin Hao felt very aggrieved. After knowing what happened between the senior sister and Xu Liang, he didn't feel good at all. He was depressed for a whole night and blamed himself. He didn't blame the senior sister. The senior sister was so beautiful. What was wrong with that? It was all Xu Liang's fault. The senior sister must have been deceived by him. It was also his fault that he knew Xu Liang had bad intentions but had no ability to stop him. Knowing today's exchange meeting, he found Chen Jianjia and said that he would represent Baikatang to participate. He wanted to show off his talent at this exchange meeting and prove it to the senior sister. However, Chen Jianjia did not give him a chance and rejected him on the spot. Chen Jianjia had already lost trust in him. In order to prevent him from causing trouble, he was directly ignored when selecting the representative of Baikatang. Lin Hao was dumbfounded. He was a miracle doctor, but he was not in such a pretentious occasion. He didn't even have the qualifications to enter the venue. He looked at the surrounding walls and fell into deep thought. The venue hall After the host's nonsense opening remarks, the representatives of both sides began to be introduced. The first to be introduced was the Western medicine team represented by Smith and Andre. The focus was on the two professors, what papers they had published, and some achievements they had made in the medical field. Of course, Chen Jianjia was the head of the Chinese medicine side. Then the rules of this exchange meeting were explained. 2 patients with the same symptoms will be sent to be treated by both sides. Whoever has the best treatment will win. In order to be fair and just, the whole process will be live broadcast. Not long after, 2 old ladies were pushed up in wheelchairs. They both had lung cancer, and it was in the late stage, and they didn't have much time left. When they heard that they could receive free treatment, they agreed without hesitation. Anyway, they were waiting to die. What if they received treatment and it was successful? In fact, Western medicine took advantage of the home advantage. The last patient had blood circulation and nerve problems, and was cured by Chen Jianjia. I also learned from many sources that she could treat difficult and complicated diseases. Rheumatoid arthritis. What about cancer? It can't be treated, right? There has been no news of Chinese medicine treating cancer, and these 2 professors have gone a long way in the field of cancer. Even if it can't be cured, it's no problem to get the patient back to the mid-stage state. They are very confident in this battle between Chinese and Western medicine. Then the teams of both sides entered the venue, each leading people into a specially prepared room with various medical instruments. It is equivalent to a small emergency room. Before entering the door, Chen Jianjia glanced at the audience and saw a familiar figure. Xu Liang smiled at her and expressed encouragement. Chen Jianjia also smiled, and her originally somewhat uneasy heart calmed down. Taking a deep breath, she led people into the emergency room. Chapter 35 Guigu 13 Needles. The protagonist feels like a waste. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside, you can see it from the live broadcast. On the Western medicine side, after entering the emergency room, they began to conduct various examinations on the patient. On the Chinese medicine side, someone was taking the patient's pulse. Ha ha ha. I am dying of laughter. It has been confirmed that it is cancer. What's the point of taking the pulse? It's over, it's over. This is cancer. Chinese medicine has no hope of winning. It depends on whether the female doctor has any way. Hey! Look, everyone, the female doctor has taken action. In the ward, after taking the patient's pulse, several Chinese medicine practitioners felt that it was very difficult. For cancer, they have no other way except to regulate the body with Chinese medicine. They couldn't help but think of the protagonist of this exchange meeting, Chen Jianjia of Baikatang. She is not old, but including some old Chinese medicine practitioners, no one underestimates her. She is really working hard for the rise of Chinese medicine. Let me take a look. Chen Jianjia walked out of the crowd and came to the patient. 3 days ago, she was also powerless against cancer. A day ago, after she mastered the Tai magic needle, cancer was no longer a problem for her. Now, after learning the more powerful Guigu 13 Needles, she is not panicked no matter what disease it is. After taking the patient's pulse, Chen Jianjia knew what to do. Took out the silver needle and began to give the patient acupuncture, a group of Chinese medicine practitioners looked at each other. They were all representatives sent by their respective Chinese medicine clinics, and of course they had real skills. They were naturally familiar with acupuncture, but they were still not prepared for Chen Jianjia at all, and they started to give acupuncture directly, feeling a little confused. You know, the patient is in the late stage of cancer, and one careless move can kill him. The crowd watching the live broadcast was also worried for her. Seeing Chen Jianjia needle after needle on the patient, they became more nervous. They were afraid that if they accidentally pierced the wrong place, they would send the patient away directly. Laymen couldn't understand, but Chinese medicine masters gradually found something wrong. Among them was Lin Hao, who sneaked into the hall of the venue. After coming in, he did not immediately look for Chen Jianjia to perform Tai magic needle to show off. He planned to wait until Chinese medicine had no other options before he showed up. He would make a splash then. At this moment, seeing Chen Jianjia giving acupuncture to the patient, he frowned and felt a little familiar. A flash of inspiration came to him. He remembered. Isn't this the 13 needles of Guigu that the master told him? Lin Hao's face was full of horror, because his master didn't know the 13 needles of Guigu either. He had only read a fragment from an ancient book, and he didn't know how to perform it specifically. The acupuncture method that the master didn't know, the senior sister actually used. Could it be? He slowly turned his head and looked at Xu Liang, who was playing with his mobile phone in the hall. Could it be that Xu Liang was really teaching the senior sister these 3 days, not to take advantage of her? Shaking his head, how could he think Xu Liang was a good person? He would rather believe that Xu Liang was taking advantage of her, and teaching medical skills was just an excuse. If Xu Liang knew his thoughts, he would definitely give him a big slap in the face. How do you know what I'm thinking? But Lin Hao still didn't believe it. If it was really the 13 needles of Guigu, wouldn't it mean that Xu Liang's medical skills were better than the master's? And if the senior sister cured the person, how could he pretend? How could he change his image in the senior sister's heart? He stared at the screen in the hall. Gradually, his heart sank, because the more he looked, the more he felt it was the 13 needles of Guigu. Not only him, but other old Chinese medicine practitioners also recognized it. The 13 needles of Guigu. In the emergency room, seeing Chen Jianjia giving acupuncture, a group of Chinese medicine practitioners held their breath. A sudden exclamation scared them. Gradually, some people also tasted it and looked at Chen Jianjia fiercely, their faces full of disbelief. Oh my God, it's really the legendary 13 needles of Guigu. It was understood at once. All those present were masters of Chinese medicine, and they had heard of Tai magic needle and the 13 needles of Guigu. Then they couldn't help but raise hope. If it is really the 13 needles of Guigu, there should be no problem in curing cancer. Half an hour later, Chen Jianjia took the true needle back from the patient and wiped the sweat from her forehead. Some people couldn't help but come forward to check, and after taking the pulse, they were amazed. The condition has begun to improve. Then someone else came forward. After more than a dozen people took turns to check, they confirmed that the patient's condition was improving. That's right, it was getting better. no matter how powerful the acupuncture is, it can't make people get better instantly. This requires a recovery process. Swish swish swish. Everyone's eyes fell on Chen Jinjia, their eyes full of excitement. The improvement of the condition means that her 13 needles of Guigu are real, that's the acupuncture. In the legend, they have been seeking it all their lives, but they have no regrets to see it. Soon, the reviewers were called in with confused faces. Damn, it just started, and you told me that the patient was cured? According to regulations, they took the patient out for examination. Conference hall. Lin Hao was in despair. The facts were before him, and he had no choice but to believe them. Xu Liang was not only stronger than his second master, his medical skills were also better than his master. From the fact that he taught his senior sister Guigu 13 needles in 3 days, it was known that his medical skills had reached a new level. The more he compared himself with Xu Liang, the more he felt that he was a waste. Ding. Lin Hao's mentality was unstable. Villain value plus 888. Xu Liang put down his phone and looked at Lin Hao. I was just reading the news about Mu Bai, who was working hard to develop new battery technology. I believe it will be successful in no time. Xu Liang was very pleased to see him working so hard. It was not easy for Xu Liang either. In order to make him devote himself to research and development, several scripts were designed. First, he played the villain and robbed his goddess to arouse his hatred, and hatred is motivation. Then he bankrupted his family so that he would not be distracted. Mu Bai, I'm really tied up. Sensing Xu Liang's look, Lin Hao tensed up and was ready to escape at any time. However, Xu Liang didn't seem to care about his thoughts. He just glanced at him and ignored him. This made him feel relieved but also very angry. Didn't he even have the qualifications to be valued by Xu Liang? Chapter 36. It can't be called a miracle, it's simply outrageous. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not long after, the reviewers came back from the inspection, holding 2 inspection results in their hands for comparison. Full of doubts about life, before treatment on both sides, they did more than one examination, and the conditions of the 2 patients were similar. After re-examination, they found that the patient's condition had improved significantly and was improving rapidly. After hesitating for a long time, he decided to publish the inspection data. At this moment in the live broadcast room, everyone is looking forward to the result. Ha ha ha. I'm laughing so hard. How many injections are there for me? And I'm going to have a checkup. It's such a child's play. The people upstairs don't understand and don't talk nonsense. How do you know it's not possible? Do you understand the profoundness of Chinese medicine? Are you kidding? That's advanced lung cancer. If the condition gets better, I'll eat shit on the spot. Everyone, please stop arguing. Look, the test results are out. The live broadcast room was incessantly noisy, and it slowly stopped until I saw a barrage. When they saw the inspection results released by the jury, everyone was suffocated. Even if many people don't understand medicine, they can still see from the data that the patient's condition has improved. Really, just a few needles and it'll be fine. Before they could recover, an even more shocking scene appeared. I saw the old woman stood up from the hospital bed tremblingly, then slowly got out of bed and stood up. This can no longer be called a miracle. It's so outrageous that he opened the door for me. It's so outrageous. Holy shit, oh shit, oh shit. Didn't you say it was terminal cancer? Didn't you say that you were paralyzed and couldn't move? Who the hell can tell me this is a crazy situation? What's all the fuss about? Isn't this the basic operation of Chinese medicine? I just want to ask, is the shit-eating guy upstairs still here? Ask the same question. +1 for the same question. Same question plus 10,086. That the live broadcast room immediately exploded, with barrages flying all over the place. The jury came to the TCM emergency room. When the Chinese medicine doctors received the news, their expressions did not change much. They are still very confident in their diagnosis. But then, when I saw the old woman slowly getting up from the hospital bed, she finally stood up. They were still shocked, but then I thought about it. The legendary 13 needles of Guigu, exaggerating to 100 million points is reasonable, right? The jury was so shocked that they were speechless and quickly pushed the person back for inspection again. But it's the emergency room of Western medicine. A group of people in white coats had just completed a physical examination of the patient, and 2 professors had already determined the treatment plan. When he was about to treat the patient, someone broke in, after they listened to the information reported by the visitor. All the doctors were dumbfounded. What? Impossible, that this was their only reaction at this time. We have just finished examining the patient and determining the treatment method. Chinese medicine has already cured the patient. Everyone just felt that it was a fantasy, but when they left the emergency room, saw the patient sitting up from the bed, and read the before and after examination reports, they fell silent. Perhaps the previous examination was wrong, and the person did not actually have advanced lung cancer. This is unfair. Some people raised questions in a different way. Hearing this, all the old Chinese doctors were so angry that they blew their beards and stared. No one else is doing it either. You chose the venue, you chose the patients, and now you don't admit it? Under the pressure of public opinion, Western doctors took a step back. It's okay to let them admit it, unless Chen Jianjia cures another patient. That patient was examined by them personally and was truly in the advanced stage of lung cancer. Chen Jianjia stood up and lived up to expectations. An hour passed. When she cured another patient, the whole audience was silent. No matter how unbelievable it is for Western doctors, they still have to believe the facts in front of them. The jury finally announced the results. TCM wins with superior skills. This exchange meeting of Chinese and Western medicine has come to an end. All the Western doctors were at a loss and felt extremely aggrieved. They held this exchange meeting because they wanted to restore the image of Western medicine and suppress traditional Chinese medicine. In the end, they were the ones who were suppressed. The 2 old professors could not accept this fact. The thing they spent their whole life trying to conquer was easily solved, and they had to go to the rescue immediately. After having a heart attack. What does it mean to be superior in skill? It's obviously a complete victory, right? The goddess doctor has already cured the person before it even started. It was a coincidence that we saved 1 patient, but what about the 2 now? Xiao Haizi, keep calling me. Oh my god. Chinese medicine can even cure cancer. Chinese medicine is awesome, the goddess doctor YYDS. Hahaha, today we let them see the mysterious power from the East. Look at those Western medicine idiots. The live broadcast room was completely boiling. It didn't take long for the news to be edited one by one and posted online to dominate most of the hot searches. Exchange conference on traditional Chinese and Western medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine completely wins over Western medicine. Cancers that the world cannot conquer are vulnerable to traditional Chinese medicine. The most beautiful miracle doctor in the world cured 2 terminal lung cancers in 1 morning. Bai Keitang became famous, and Chen Jianjia became even more popular. When Chen Jianjia came out of the emergency room, the hall was filled with thunderous applause. Whether it was high-ranking officials or wealthy people, they all looked at her with kindness. He could even cure cancer. He was a living miracle doctor, and she had to curry favor with him. Without paying attention to the admiration of these people, Chen Jianjia hurriedly looked in one direction. Sure enough, she saw Xu Liang, who was smiling at her at this time. She smiled too. The smile was bright, like spring flowers blooming, and all flowers blooming. This scene was recorded by a photographer and appeared on the cover of Time, securing the title of the most beautiful miracle doctor. Seeing Xu Liang stand up and prepare to leave, Chen Jianjia wanted to catch up. She was really too excited. Chinese medicine is famous all over the world, and her dream since childhood has come true. She can't wait to find someone to share it with. Xu Liang is the only candidate. Suddenly, her cell phone rang. Picking it up, it was a message from Xu Liang. Take care of things first, and we'll celebrate together in the evening. Chen Jianjia paused. Indeed, the exchange meeting was over, but she had a lot to do. Logically speaking, looking at the senior sister on the high platform, Lin Hao should be happy, but he couldn't be happy at all. When he thought of the ambiguity between the senior sister and Xu Liang, he felt heartbroken. Ding. Lin Hao has hatred towards you. Villain value plus 777. Chapter 37, Make your dreams come true with your own hands. Go to the heroine's house and have. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Jianjia spent the whole afternoon accepting various interviews, and was so busy that she was running around. She didn't know that as she became famous, someone had already set her sights on her. Being able to treat cancer, she was simply a walking treasure. I don't know how many ambitious people were dispatched, especially from abroad. Many unknown people entered the country, either to kill her or to capture her. But after these people came near Qingjinjia, they would always disappear inexplicably. This was of course Xu Liang's handiwork. He had anticipated this and arranged people to protect Qingjinjia. As for where the disappeared people went, Xu Liang did not kill them, but sent them to a place full of killing and destruction. No one would believe it. The eldest son of the Xu family who controlled everything. On the surface, he was still gentle and elegant, and treated people with elegance and easygoingness. In the evening, Qingjinjia rejected all invitations and drove out of Baikatang alone. When she arrived at the restaurant, Xu Liang arrived first, and a candlelight dinner was ready. Lin Hao, who followed secretly, was furious when he saw this scene. The elder sister really came to find Xu Liang. He wanted to go out to stop her, but gave up after hesitating for a while. He felt very aggrieved. In the afternoon, he also noticed that someone was targeting the elder sister, and before he could make a move, he was already dealt with by someone. He was not even given a chance to save the beauty. There was no need to guess that it must be Xu Liang's handiwork. What shocked him was that among these people, there were actually masters of Huajin. Only then did he know that he was wrong. He was the eldest son of the Xu family. How could he be protected by only some minions? The reason why he didn't bring them with him was that it was unnecessary, because his strength was stronger than those people. He was a master of Huajin himself, and he didn't know how many masters he had, or even if there were stronger masters. How could he play this? Lin Hao was more and more afraid of Xu Liang. At this moment, in his sight, Xu Liang and Qingjinjia sat opposite each other. Congratulations, your long-cherished wish has come true. Xu Liang smiled and raised a glass of red wine. Qingjinjia quickly picked up the glass, her face also full of smiles. Thank you. If it weren't for you, Baikatang would have been suppressed by Heping Hospital. If it weren't for you teaching me medical skills, it would be impossible to make Chinese medicine famous all over the world. Speaking of this, she couldn't help but think of the 3 days of hand-to-hand teaching, which was both warm and shy. She really fulfilled her dream with her own hands. You don't need to say thank you, you know. Xu Liang winked at her. Qingjinjia's face turned redder when she saw this, and she remembered what Xu Liang said before about promising her body. She didn't refuse. She came to the appointment today, which already represented her heart. There is a new movie that is good. How about we go and see it? After having a candlelight dinner together, Qingjinjia plucked up the courage and took the initiative to suggest going to the movie. Xu Liang raised his eyebrows slightly, smiled and nodded. After leaving the restaurant and walking on the street for a while, the two stopped in front of a movie theater. After Qingjinjia bought the ticket and came back, Xu Liang took her hand and walked in. The movie is about love. The heroine is a strong woman who only wants to develop her career. The hero is a rich man, but he is willing to give everything for her. Most of the cooperation projects of the heroine's company were secretly helped by the hero. Qingjinjia watched it very attentively. I feel like the heroine in the movie. She is only dedicated to the revival of traditional Chinese medicine. Xu Liang is the hero. He suddenly appeared when she was in a desperate situation and fulfilled her dream with his own hands. There are indeed some similarities. If reality is not premeditated, Xu Liang has no feelings for the movie, but he will not miss this opportunity and pulls her into his arms. He kissed her domineeringly. Qingjinjia was a little flustered at first, but she didn't resist, and then she was addicted to it. It was 10 o'clock in the evening. There were fewer people on the street, but for some people, the nightlife has just begun. Lin Hao, who had been squatting outside for 2 hours, was anxious. Finally, he waited for the two to come out. When he saw Qingjinjia holding Xu Liang's hand, with an intimate posture of leaning on each other, his brain crashed. That's right, after watching a movie, the relationship between the two became closer. From lovers, there is only a layer of window paper to be broken. Xu Liang will not break this relationship. When Qingjinjia finds out that he has other women, there will be no reason to question cheating. Is there? Oh, I have other women. You didn't ask me. Maybe someone would say he is a scumbag. Xu Liang would tell that person that he is not a scumbag. He just wants to give each heroine a home. It's getting late, I'll take you home. Qingjinjia was stunned. She thought Xu Liang would take her to a hotel or his home. she didn't expect that he would take her home. This made her, who was ready to sacrifice herself, suddenly unable to do it. How could she know that Xu Liang had already checked her home and found no one was there? How could a hotel be as comfortable as the heroine's home? Chen Jinjia got on the car inexplicably. Before getting on the car, Xu Liang winked at a figure in the dark. Seeing the Rolls-Royce go away in a cloud of dust, Lin Hao came to his senses and immediately wanted to chase. Judging from the postures of the two, the senior sister has already fallen. Now that she has been taken away by Xu Liang, who knows what kind of posture she will be in at night, he must chase her to stop her. He can't just watch the senior sister being bullied by Xu Liang. However, just when he was about to stop the car, an old woman walked out of the dark, the aura emanating from her was that of a master of Huajin. She was the master of Huajin who was protecting Chen Jinjia. Lin Hao's face froze, his heart sank, and he didn't dare to act rashly. Ding. Lin Hao is angry with you, villain value plus 888. On the other side, Xu Liang sent Chen Jinjia downstairs of her house. After getting off the car, Chen Jinjia was still a little confused. It was a little different from what she thought. Having a candlelight dinner and watching a movie together made her feel the feeling of love that she had never experienced before. With her wish fulfilled today, she was ready to give herself to Xu Liang. If Xu Liang asked, she would agree, but he didn't. Did she think too much? Xu Liang invited her tonight, but that wasn't what he meant. She suddenly felt a little disappointed. Coming back from her wild thoughts, she looked at Xu Liang and invited him politely. Mr. Xu, how about going up and sitting? Okay, let's go and do it. Thank you all for your support. Every power you generate is my endless power. I kneel down and kowtow 360 degrees. Chapter 38 Xu Liang's Power. The most mysterious and terrifying Skynet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Under Chen Jinjia's guidance, Xu Liang came to her home. The whole house was simply decorated, with many medical books placed on the bookshelf, and a faint herbal fragrance filled the air. After closing the door, Chen Jinjia suddenly realized that she was the only one at home. Now they were alone. Her heartbeat began to accelerate. Which room are you in? I'm a little curious, take me to see it. Xu Liang looked around, then looked at her, his tone a little inexplicable. Ah, Chen Jinjia was stunned for a moment, then said nervously. Okay. She led the way in front, feeling her heart was about to jump out. Xu Liang followed behind with interest. She had a good figure, twisting her waist, and her back was enchanting. When she came to her room, Chen Jinjia just opened the door, and a pair of hands hugged her from behind. Xu Liang came to Akina Mountain and started to choose a car. He picked a gentle one. This car has a beautiful appearance like jade and is well maintained. It is a new car on the road. Ding. Do you want to bring Chen Jinjia into the family? Let her become a family member. Chen Jinjia fell asleep. Xu Liang also heard the long-lost reminder sound in his mind. Without hesitation, he made a choice. Ding. Congratulations to the host, family member +1, you have obtained a skill, mind control. That mind control can affect the thoughts of people with weaker mental power than oneself, and can be activated when the person's will is weakest, and can control and enslave people. Xu Liang raised his eyebrows. This time the reward is a bit fierce. Control and enslave can be used to expand his power. In the past 6 months, he has made full preparations to deal with the protagonist. In addition to the power of the Xu family, he also built a force, and these people are only loyal to him. Skynet, which integrates intelligence and assassination, weaves a large network covering the whole world. There are 8 departments of heaven and earth, universe and wildness, scattered all over the world, performing different duties, among which the Sky Department is the strongest and has the highest potential. The Lord of Skynet is the fanatical belief of all Skynet people. As soon as Skynet appeared, it set off an endless bloody rain in the dark world. The first battle of Skynet was fought with a drug lord warlord as a sacrifice. You must know that this drug lord has a huge army and a series of lethal weapons such as rockets, submachine guns, howitzers, etc. However, after one night, all the troops died tragically, and the heads of the drug lords were hung on the high walls. In the second battle, a famous mercenary organization was wiped out overnight. The most famous one is the third battle. in which a country in Black Africa was destroyed. This is only because Skynet appeared and caused a big impact that it is widely known. I don't know how many things have been done behind it. At this point, Skynet's reputation was completely established. It became the most mysterious, terrifying and unprovoked force in the dark world. Without a doubt, countless people were terrified when they heard about it, and they were so scared that they stopped their children from crying at night. Speaking of which, Skynet was able to develop so quickly because he got the formula of the genetic medicine from a female protagonist, unlike the genetic medicine in movies and novels, which transforms the body out of thin air. The medicine with this formula continuously extracts the potential of the human body and will cause certain damage to the foundation. For Xu Liang, who has undergone marrow cleansing and meridian cutting and has a systematic infusion of strength, this medicine can be said to have no effect at all, but for others, it is a magic medicine that they can't wait for. His upper limit is determined by your potential is the master of transformation, and the genetic medicine will be slowly developed, and the strength will be improved very quickly. Therefore, he does not need a master, but only loyalty. I just don't know how many people can be enslaved by this mind control. Is there any requirement for mental strength? As for the limitation of weak will, Xu Liang didn't care at all. As many as he wants, he can find as many as he wants in the underground Colosseum. No one who goes in has his will destroyed. Mind control, combined with hypnosis, should bring unexpected surprises. Xu Liang fell into deep thought, but unfortunately he has not yet acquired hypnosis. With this thought, he couldn't help but think of the lottery. It has been several days since the last lottery, and the villain value has accumulated to more than 30,000. System, lottery, ding. Congratulations to the host, the prize is drawn, a small whip, a whip made of very cowhide, which will not leave marks on the body. Stuff. Very cowhide. The next moment, a small whip appeared in Xu Liang's hand. Waving it, the wind whistled. Not to mention, it's quite handy. With a thought, the small whip in his hand disappeared and was put into his personal space. Continue, ding. Congratulations to the host, you have won the prize, a personal bodyguard, need to be subdued by the host. The bodyguard will appear soon, please be prepared to subdue him. Friendly reminder, the bodyguard's appearance method is uncertain. Xu Liang. After drawing a bodyguard, do you have to subdue him yourself? The difference between drawing and not drawing is that someone will come to you. He felt that this lottery function was a bit unreliable from the beginning, and it turned out to be true. If you really want a good system reward, you have to build a family. There is still one chance to draw a lottery, and Xu Liang did not hesitate and drew all of them directly. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have won the reward. Strength is improved by a small realm. Swish. A warm current flowed through his limbs and bones, and a domineering aura flashed through him. He had no hope at first, but in the end he got a surprise. Late stage of Huajin. Xu Liang clenched his fist and got familiar with the surge of power. His strength was directly instilled by the system, and there was no unstable foundation. Although he is only in the late stage of Huajin now, he is not afraid of the peak of Huajin. With a few god-level skills, he can easily kill. Xu Liang hugged the warm and soft jade, glanced at the red plum blossoms before going to bed, and looked out the window again. The sky was dim and it was almost dawn. If Qin Jinjia wasn't incapable, then it wouldn't be a problem for Qin Jinjia. Chapter 39. The extremely popular heroine. The protagonist was driven away. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sun hit her buttocks, and Qin Jinjia woke up slowly. I felt myself in a warm embrace, and the memory of last night came to my mind. That shy scene was like opening the door to a new world. She frowned, felt something on the tip of her nose, and opened her eyes. Xu Liang was playing with a piece of her hair. Meeting those playful eyes, she quickly closed her eyes and hid in Xu Liang's arms, not daring to come out. Who would have thought? The goddess doctor in the eyes of countless people had taken the shape of someone else last night. At this time, he was huddled in a man's arms. Xu Liang smiled and pulled her out. After a cat-and-mouse game, Qin Jinjia recovered. By Kaitang, that it was 3 o'clock in the morning and there were many people waiting outside. They all came here to see the goddess doctor. Among them was a very embarrassed figure. Lin Hao's hair was disheveled, his clothes were somewhat torn, and he had 2 dark circles under his eyes. He still had a fight with the Huajin Grandmaster last night. There is no doubt that he was defeated in several moves. Fortunately, the Grandmaster didn't seem to have any intention of embarrassing him. He just stopped him for a while and left. Lin Hao didn't think much. He was going to find Senior Sister and Xu Liang, but where can I find it in the vast darkness? He didn't give up. I think Xu Liang took his Senior Sister to the hotel, so he searched almost all nearby hotels, but found nothing. Gradually, it gets bright. He also gave up. In my heart, I just hope that Senior Sister can stick to her heart and not let Xu Liang succeed. Laugh. At this time, a low-key Audi parked at the entrance of Baikatang. The goddess doctor is here. Someone recognized this as Chen Jinjia's car and exclaimed. Everyone followed his gaze. A middle-aged woman got out of the car, not Chen Jinjia. She went to the back seat and opened the door. Chen Jinjia got out of the car and appeared in front of everyone, causing a sensation in the whole place. It's really a goddess doctor. After squatting here for a few days, I finally met the real person. As expected, I was not disappointed. I feel like the female doctor looks beautiful again today. I wonder what kind of skin care products she used. Are you kidding? She is a miracle doctor, but she still needs to use those chemicals. Hey, the female doctor is about to fall down. What happened to her today? She was a little careless. Chen Jinjia got out of the car and frowned. He took a step forward and suddenly his feet went weak. If he hadn't been supported by the female bodyguard beside him, he might have fallen to the ground. I couldn't help but complain about Xu Liang, but seeing the driver and bodyguard beside her, she felt full of happiness. After listening to Xu Liang's account of her situation, she obediently accepted the bodyguard arranged by Xu Liang. In the crowd, Lin Hao's pupils exploded when he saw this scene. Chen Jinjia fell down. Some people might think it was accidental, but he didn't think so. Since ancient times, there has been no separation between medicine and martial arts. The Senior Sister has also practiced martial arts and has Ming Jin's strength. How could a fall happen? Combined with the young womanly charm that oozes from her body, how could Lin Hao still not know what happened last night? The Senior Sister is already in the shape of Xu Liang. Snap. That he gave himself a hard slap, and now he regrets it extremely. Why didn't you tell the Senior Sister about how many boats Xu Liang was riding in the first place? If I had told her earlier, maybe today wouldn't be here. Ding, Lin Hao is mentally unstable. Villain value plus 1000. After calming down for a while, Chen Jinjia walked towards Baichao Hall. At this time, the crowd was in a commotion, looking for her autograph. She was really blushing now. Whether literally or literally, before anyone could gather around them, a group of female bodyguards appeared out of nowhere and blocked them from outside. Chen Jinjia successfully entered Baichao Hall. However, someone still broke through the blockade and came to her. Who else if not Lin Hao? Senior Sister. Looking at Chen Jinjia, Lin Hao's face was complicated and he blamed himself very much. It's all his fault for concealing the truth at that time, otherwise, I wouldn't have been deceived by that scumbag Xu Liang. Lin Hao. You came just in time. I have something to tell you. Before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Chen Jinjia. You should leave Baikatang, Brother Liang said. I don't want to see other men around me. When she said this, she had a happy smile on her face. What does this mean? It shows that Xu Liang cares about her very much. Lin Hao. He looked at Chen Jinjia in disbelief. Even Brother Liang was called. Well, he is her junior brother, and she wants to kick him out for a scumbag. Seeing the determined expression on Chen Jinjia's face, his heart broke. Lin Hao left Baikatang silently, and finally did not say anything about Xu Liang's efforts to get his fiancée pregnant. Judging from Chen Jinjia's appearance, she has a deep love for Xu Liang, and she wouldn't believe him even if he told her, unless the evidence is put in front of her. Ding. Lin Hao's mentality exploded. Villain value plus 1000. The Rolls-Royce was driving on the street. After reading the news that Lin Hao was driven away by Chen Jinjia, Xu Liang put down his phone and smiled playfully. After being driven out of Baikatang, where will you go next? Are you going to find the second Senior Sister Xia Qingqiu? Or are you going to find the third Senior Sister Dongfang Xianyan? Unfortunately, Dongfang Xianyan is not in the Magic City. she is only one step away from being pulled into the family's heroine. It will be very interesting for the protagonist to find her. But it should be soon, she will be back from the global tour soon, then it is likely to find Xia Qingqiu. This woman is a bit difficult to deal with. I hope she will be more sensible and not force him to use extraordinary means. The car slowly stopped and Xu Liang came back to his senses. Mu Bai is his target this time. He received a message from Peng Ming that Mu Bai's new battery technology is about to be completed. The reason why he came so quickly is to appear at the moment when the protagonist completes it, throw him down from heaven to hell. Compared to Lin Hao being driven out by the heroine, what happens here will be more exciting. Chapter 40 Showdown. The feeling of falling from heaven to hell. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is the back mountain of Magic City University, which is remote and has several laboratories. Mu Bai's research and development is carried out here. TSK. Has it been developed yet? Just as he got off the car, a message came over. Xu Liang raised his eyebrows, and a smile flashed across his eyes. Then, he walked into the laboratory with several bodyguards. I succeeded. In the laboratory dashed at Mu Bai, with fluffy hair, dirty clothes, and a few days of not showering, looked at the palm-sized iron box in his hand and was ecstatic. Don't look at the small size of this iron box, its effect is 10 times that of those new energy batteries on the market. What does 10 times mean? If the cruising range of a new energy vehicle can reach 100 kilometers, excluding the influence of loss factors such as vehicle weight and air conditioning, then this iron box can make its cruising range reach 1,000 kilometers, saving an unknown amount of fuel costs. Not only that, its smaller size means that more space can be left in the car. Its market value can be imagined. Once it is launched, it will definitely cause turmoil in the new energy industry. You can easily make hundreds of billions, and if you manage it well, trillions are not impossible. For Mu Bai, this not only represents trillions of wealth, but also gives him hope for revenge. He will never forget the pain Xu Liang brought him. He stole his goddess and bankrupted his Mu family. He didn't let them go even after all this, and they could only sleep in the park every day and fight with wild dogs for food. Fortunately, he didn't give up. After several days of sleepless research and development, he finally completed it. Ha ha ha. Mu Bai laughed wildly, venting his frustration these days. Next to him Peng Ming's eyes flashed with pity and reluctance. He wanted to tell his best friend the truth. You have been targeted for a long time, waiting in the dark. Everything you do is just to make wedding clothes for others. But, he didn't dare to say it. He didn't dare to joke about the life and death of his family. For my family, Brother Bai, I'm sorry. He was terrified when he thought of Xu Liang's indifferent eyes. His eyes fell on a USB flash drive on the table next to Mu Bai, and he moved slowly step by step. It contained the complete new battery technology. Suddenly, Mu Bai stopped laughing and spoke with hatred. Xu Liang, you wait for me. I will repay you 1,000 times for the pain you brought me. Really? The sudden sound made Mu Bai's words stop abruptly. He would never forget this voice even if he was beaten to death. He turned his head suddenly, and as expected, he saw Xu Liang and a few people walking in. How could it be? Why was Xu Liang here? And, when I was researching, the door was locked, so how could he come in without making any sound? Seeing Xu Liang, Mu Bai didn't care to think about these things, and the suppressed anger broke out completely. What are you doing here? Xu Liang, is it you who bankrupted my Mu family? Why am I like this, and you still won't let me go? He asked 3 questions in a row, asking out the grief and anger in his heart. He was really puzzled. It was Xu Liang who had snatched away the goddess he had been pursuing for 7 years, but he seemed to have offended him and would not stop until he had beaten him to death. Ding. Mu Bai is resentful of you, villain value plus 888. You have a lot of questions. Xu Liang stroked his chin, then I will answer them one by one. He could see that Mu Bai's luck was running out. He must harvest them all today, then let's chat for a while, and be a wise ghost. When he knew that he was just a chess piece, his expression would be very interesting. After all, killing someone must be done to the heart. The so-called villains who die because of talking too much are those villains who are not good enough. For him, it doesn't exist. He has absolute strength, and no matter what tricks the protagonist makes, he can solve them. I came here, of course, I am interested in what you have in your hand. Xu Liang smiled faintly. What? Mubai was shocked. He thought Xu Liang came here to find him. Unexpectedly, it was a new battery technology developed for him. Just when he was shocked, a bodyguard came to him and reached out to grab the iron box in his hand. Mubai quickly retracted his hand and tried to protect it in his arms, but the hand was faster than he thought, and grabbed his wrist and squeezed it gently. An indescribable pain came. He couldn't help but let go of his hand, and the iron box fell into the bodyguard's hand. The next moment, the bodyguard returned to Xu Liang and presented his hands respectfully in front of him. Xu Liang picked up the iron box and played with it with interest. The appearance was silver, with a metallic texture, full of technological atmosphere. Not bad. It can be handed over to the Galaxy Group for research and development and production. The Galaxy Group was a company he secretly established. It was established less than half a year ago, but it squeezed into the top 500 companies in the world at a very fast speed. There are not many products, only some medicines for beauty, health, etc. The effect of the medicine is extremely amazing, far surpassing those skin care products and health medicines on the market. Of course, these medicines cannot make it into the top 500 in such a short time. Only a few people know that the Galaxy Group also produces a gene medicine liquid that can improve physical fitness and eliminate diseases. This is unparalleled for those who stand at the top of the world. They are willing to pay tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of sky-high prices. In fact, those medicines are just some corners extracted from gene medicines, but they are already world-leading products. The so-called gene medicine liquid is nothing more than the effect of gene medicine diluted dozens or hundreds of times. In his imagination the Galaxy Group focuses on world-leading products. Originally, I thought that only gene medicine liquid was a bit too monotonous, and this new battery technology could be barely added in. Mubai grabbed the injured part of his wrist and looked at Xu Liang with a look of shock and anger. I'm making your Mu family bankrupt for your own good, otherwise you wouldn't have been able to develop this thing so quickly. Xu Liang retracted his gaze, his tone somewhat amusing. What? Mubai was completely dumbfounded. You're making my family bankrupt, or is it for my own good? Wait, he found the point in this sentence. Making the Mu family bankrupt is just to make him develop the new battery earlier. Doesn't that mean that he has long been eyeing the things he developed? No wonder they are desperate and targeted wherever they go, but the laboratory is safe and sound. This is to let him develop it, and then he will snatch it, and get something for nothing. Everything is figured out. Mubai's eyes are bloodshot, veins on his forehead are bulging, and he is furious. He had already succeeded, and he just had to wait for the new battery to be produced. And it would not be a problem to catch up with the Xu family, but at this time, Xu Liang suddenly appeared and told him that everything was arranged, and he was just a tool. It made him feel like he fell from heaven to hell. What a cruel heart. In order to let him concentrate on research, he directly bankrupted his family. While he was angry, he felt extremely chilled. This was completely based on Xu Liang's preferences, and he didn't care about the law and morality at all.